Quick question for the all-knowing Mark Carney, who sent one of his kids to Tavistock. Look into it. Cannot get through a sentence without saying, has spent his entire adult life in service of the WF and Davos and other global elite institution, and who just generally gives me and many other Canadians a very creepy vibe. How exactly are you going to define our great and all-wise emperor? What exactly is and is not hate speech? Carney currently has moved to committee in Canada Bill C-63, the so-called Online Harms Act, which will see if passed, would see the creation of a so-called Digital Safety Commission that exists outside of the current legal system and is staffed by 10 bureaucrats and 1 ombudsman. Now, what this so-called Digital Safety Commission will be tasked with doing is scouring the internet for hate speech. Thank God, we're doing such a good job of dealing with the criminals on our streets on a day-to-day basis. It's not as though there's open crack smoking all over our streets. Violent crime rates are up 40% in the past decade. Crimes against women up 70%. Petty theft up 80%. We're doing such a good job in Canada of dealing with the important actual physical crimes that why not divert resources to policing so-called hate speech online? So I'm with you there. This is really brilliant stuff. But the creation of this Digital Safety Commission will be tasked with responding to reports of any Canadian citizen that they believe that a fellow citizen is likely to say something that they deem to be hateful in the future. I kid you not. This commission will be receiving reports. Any Canadian citizens, we know, of course, there's no crazy Canadians. Mark Carney got elected, but there's no crazy Canadians. They will receive these reports, review them, and if they deem the threat, so again, if you're reported to this commission, you don't have to have posted a single thing. Any citizen can report that they believe you're likely to say something hateful in the future, and if these all-knowing 10 unelected bureaucrats and 1 ombudsman deem it likely enough that you are going to post something hateful in the future, in dystopian Canada, you can be put under house arrest, given an ankle bracelet, and have any weapons confiscated. To repeat, for the pre-crime, you haven't done anything. 10 unelected bureaucrats and ombudsmen have deemed it they believe you're likely to say something hateful online in the future. Canadians will face house arrest and ankle bracelet and the confiscation of any weaponry. That doesn't sound authoritarian at all. That doesn't remind me of Mao. That doesn't remind me of Stalin. How silly. We live in a great woke democracy in Canada. No. But it gets even better. So-called incitement to genocide. And I've been hearing a heck of a lot of incitement to genocide on the streets every single day for the past 2 years. These masked, thuggish mobs walking around. I'm sure these aren't the type of people that the Canadian government will be going after, though. So-called incitement to genocide can result in a lifetime prison sentence, a lifetime spent in prison for so-called incitement to genocide, as well as lengthy prison terms, minimum 10-year sentences for so-called fomenting vilification and detestation. I kid you not. Found guilty of incitement to genocide, whatever that means. Mark Carney, please fill me in. All wise, all knowing Mark Carney, please fill me in. Incitement to genocide, lifetime imprisonment, foment vilification or detestation, 10 years in prison. So we are staring down the barrel of the authoritarian gun in Canada right now. People don't think of Canada like this, but we are much closer to China or Russia than we are to Sweden, and it's just getting worse and worse here on a daily basis. If we don't stand up and make our voices heard and this authoritarian bill passes, it is the death knell. I'm telling you right now, the death knell of free speech in Canada. Citizens will be too scared to speak their mind. You want to criticize immigration? Get ready for your either lengthy prison sentence or house arrest, and they're going to scare anybody from saying anything, which is the whole point. It's time to make our voices heard, fight back. I'm going to be posting a list of MPs' names. We need to get in their faces about not passing this atrocity of the bill. Get on the streets. I'm going to be setting up rallies in September If you're interested in supporting, hit the link in my bio. Donate. I'm doing everything I can to get the word out. Grab some gear. Please like and subscribe. Spread this message, because if Bill C-63, the so-called Online Harms Act, this is worse than what the UK just passed. And the UK is sticking 30 people in prison a day for speech crimes. It doesn't go as far as the pre-crime part. Of course, only Canada woke Canada in 2025 could whip up pre-crimes because we're so empathetic. But look into it. Make your voices heard. Get in important MPs' ears. Stay tuned to hit the streets, because if Bill C-63 passes, free speech is dead in Canada.